Most men live lives of quiet desperation, chained to their fears, never tasting true freedom. They walk around in a daze, zombies shuffling through a predetermined existence, never realizing their infinite potential. It's a horrifying tragedy, a slow, agonizing death of the spirit. Are you a lion, the king of the jungle, powerful and majestic, or a sheep in lion's clothing, bleeding pathetically as you follow the herd towards oblivion? Do you dare to confront this question, to look deep within and see the truth reflected back? Let's be crystal clear. Fear is not the enemy. It's not some malignant force designed to cripple you. No, fear is the fuel for your rocket to greatness. It is the raw, untamed energy that, when harnessed correctly, can propel you to heights you never dreamed possible. I am here to reveal, to expose, to force you to understand how to transform fear from a paralyzing force, a suffocating blanket of doubt, into a propelling one, a jet engine blasting you towards your destiny. We are talking about a complete metamorphosis, a radical shift in your very being. Think of the shackles of fear, cold, heavy, restricting your every move, binding you to a life of mediocrity. Feel their weight, their suffocating presence. Now picture the rockets of ambition, sleek, powerful, throbbing with potential, ready to launch you into the stratosphere of success. This is not some fluffy self-help nonsense. This is a brutal, honest assessment of your reality and a roadmap to claiming your rightful place as a master of your own fate. Our mission, should you choose to accept it, and you will accept it, is a journey of transformation. It is moving from shackles to rockets. We will begin by dragging your deepest fears into the harsh light of day, dissecting them with the precision of a surgeon, exposing their lies and weaknesses. Then and only then will we move on to mastery, equipping you with the weapons and strategies you need to conquer them, to utterly obliterate them. And finally, we will witness your ascension, your triumphant rise to unimaginable success, a success forged in the fires of conquered fear. This isn't just about improvement, it's about revolution. It's about becoming the ultimate version of yourself, a man who commands respect, who seizes opportunity, who lives life on his own terms. Deep dive into understanding fear. What are you really afraid of? I'm not talking about spiders or heights. I'm talking about the gut-wrenching, soul-crushing fears that keep you up at night, the ones that whisper insidious lies in your ear and hold you back from becoming the absolute best version of yourself. Are you truly living or merely existing, suffocated by the invisible chains of your own anxieties? Let's rip off the blindfold and stare directly into the abyss, shall we? We must dissect fear with the precision of a master surgeon, exposing its ugly, pulsating heart. Let's explore the most common, yet most devastating types of fear. Fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of inadequacy, and the chilling fear of the unknown. First, the fear of failure. This isn't just about stumbling. It's about the terror of not measuring up, of being exposed as a fraud. Think of the aspiring entrepreneur, brimming with brilliant ideas, yet paralyzed by the thought of his venture crashing and burning. He envisions bankruptcy, ridicule, the crushing weight of "I told you so" from every naysayer. He's so terrified of falling that he never even takes the first step, forever trapped in a cage of what-ifs. Consider John, a talented writer who dreamt of publishing a novel. He spent years crafting his masterpiece, pouring his heart and soul into every page. But when it came time to submit it to publishers, fear seized him. He imagined rejection letters piling up, critics savaging his work, his dreams dissolving into dust. So he locked the manuscript away in a drawer where it gathered dust, a monument to his unfulfilled potential, a tomb of a dream, a testament to his fear. Next, the fear of judgment. This is the fear of being exposed, ridiculed, ostracized. It's the fear of what they will think, they being everyone and anyone. This fear is a chameleon, constantly shifting, adapting to the perceived expectations of others. It's the man who suppresses his true passions because they don't fit the mold of masculinity defined by his peers. It's the man who hides his vulnerabilities, afraid of appearing weak or imperfect. He's living a life dictated by the imagined opinions of others, a puppet dancing to a tune he didn't choose. He lives a lie, picture Mark, a naturally flamboyant and artistic individual, forced into a corporate job he hated because his family pressured him to pursue a stable career. He stifled his creativity, wore a mask of conformity, and slowly withered away inside, all because he was terrified of being judged for who he truly was. A life wasted. Then we confront the insidious fear of inadequacy, the deep-seated belief that you're simply not good enough. This fear is a parasite, feeding on your insecurities, whispering doubts in your ear, convincing you that you're unworthy of love, success, or happiness. It's the man who constantly compares himself to others, always coming up short in his own mind. He's trapped in a cycle of self-sabotage, never allowing himself to experience true joy or fulfillment. He is lost in his self-doubt. Imagine David, a gifted musician, plagued by self-doubt. He'd practice for hours, honing his skills, but when it came time to perform, he'd freeze, convinced he wasn't good enough. He'd see other musicians, seemingly more confident and talented, and his own self-belief would crumble. He never reached his full potential, his music silenced by the deafening roar of his own inadequacy. A tragedy. Finally, the fear of the unknown, the primal terror of stepping into the uncharted territory, of venturing beyond the familiar and comfortable. This fear is the most fundamental, rooted in our survival instinct. But in the modern world, it often manifests as a resistance to change, a reluctance to take risks, a clinging to the illusion of control. It's the man who stays in a dead-end job, a loveless relationship, or a soul-crushing routine because he's afraid of what might lie on the other side. He is trapped in a state of stagnation, never knowing the thrill of exploring the boundless possibilities that life offers. There's an old saying, the greatest fear of a man during a eulogy, it is not being into the coffin but to make the eulogy. This is not a joke. It is a shocking, brutal truth. It perfectly illustrates how deeply ingrained and irrational fear can be. Public speaking, a relatively harmless activity, evokes more terror than death itself for many. This is the power of fear. It is an illusion, a self-imposed prison. Fear is an illusion. Understand this truth and your power will start growing. Fear controls you. Fear manipulates you. Fear breeds mediocrity. It's like a puppeteer pulling the strings of your life, dictating your choices, limiting your potential, and keeping you trapped in a small, insignificant existence. But you have the power to cut those strings. Here's how. 1. Name your fears. Write them down. Say them aloud. Drag them out of the shadows and into the light. Give them form and substance so you can confront them directly. Don't let them lurk in the murky depths of your subconscious. 2. Analyze their origin. Where did these fears come from? Were you born with them or were they learned? Did a specific event or experience trigger them? Understanding the root cause is crucial to dismantling their power. 3. Challenge their validity. Are your fears based on facts or are they distorted perceptions, irrational beliefs, and catastrophic predictions? Are they serving you or are they holding you back? Question their legitimacy with relentless scrutiny. Rip them apart. Destroy their foundations of lies. Only then will you truly begin to see fear for what it is: a paper tiger, a phantom menace, a liar. Provide a detailed roadmap to mastering fear. Unleash your inner lion. I'm talking about ripping the throat out of that whimpering cur that's been holding you back. Present actionable techniques and strategies. It is not a suggestion, it is a mandate. We are building an army of fearless warriors here, and you, my friend, are on the front lines for conquering fear of failure. Embrace failure as the greatest teacher. Failure isn't a full stop. It's a goddamn comma. Let me tell you about Thomas Edison. The world laughs at the story that he failed 10,000 times before inventing the light bulb, right? Wrong. He didn't fail. He found 10,000 ways that didn't work. Each failure was a meticulously documented lesson, a stepping stone carved from the granite of experience. Imagine the sheer audacity, the unrelenting grit. He didn't cower in the shadows. He embraced the darkness, learning its contours until he finally ignited the world. Do you think for a second that a lion gives a damn if its first hunt fails? No, it learns, it adapts, it becomes a more efficient predator. You, my friend, need to cultivate that same predatory instinct. Every setback, every stumble, every face plant into the mud of defeat is an opportunity. An opportunity to analyze, to refine, to come back stronger, faster, more ruthless. Write down every single failure. Dissect it. What went wrong? Why? How can you avoid it next time? Turn your failures into a goddamn textbook of triumph. For conquering fear of judgment. The opinions of others are as fleeting as shadows. Why let them dictate your life? Whose life is this, anyway? Are you living to appease the whispers of the crowd, the snickers of the insecure? Their judgments are like smoke, insubstantial, easily dispersed by the winds of your own conviction. I knew a man, a brilliant artist, who was ridiculed for his unconventional style. Critics called his work garbage, childish, an insult to art. Did he wither? Did he retreat? Hell no, he doubled down, fueled by their scorn. He painted with a ferocity that shook the foundations of the art world. Today, his paintings hang in the most prestigious galleries, and those same critics, they're choking on their own bile, forced to acknowledge his genius. Remember this, the world will always try to confine you, to box you in with its petty expectations. Your job is to shatter those boxes, to explode out of those confines like a supernova. Let them judge, let them whisper. Their opinions are meaningless. Your actions are everything. For fear of inadequacy, you are not your doubts. You are a force of nature waiting to be unleashed. This insidious little voice in your head, whispering that you're not good enough, not strong enough, not smart enough, it's a liar. It's the echo of every insecurity you've ever harbored, amplified by the darkness within. But I'm here to tell you, you are a goddamn masterpiece in the making, a symphony of untapped potential. You are a force of nature, a tempest waiting to break. To build unshakable self-belief, first, daily affirmations. Not that wishy-washy, feel-good nonsense. I'm talking about raw, visceral declarations of power. Stand in front of a mirror, look yourself dead in the eye, and roar. I am powerful. I am unstoppable. I am the master of my destiny. Say it until you believe it, until your voice cracks with conviction, until the very foundations of your being vibrate with that truth. Second, visualization techniques. Don't just think about success. See it, feel it, taste it. Create a vivid mental movie of yourself achieving your goals, conquering your fears, dominating your world. See yourself standing on the mountaintop, a king surveying his kingdom. Make it so real, so visceral, that your subconscious mind cannot distinguish it from reality. Third, celebrate small victories. Did you get out of bed today? Celebrate it. Did you make that phone call you were dreading? Celebrate it. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory against the forces of fear. Acknowledge them, celebrate them, and use them as fuel for your next conquest. These are not suggestions. These are commands. There's no hand holding here. I don't care if you succeed or not. What I do care about is that you fight and you execute this flawlessly. Address the fear of the unknown by advocating for controlled exposure, taking one small step at a time. The unknown is a vast, terrifying ocean, but you don't conquer it by diving headfirst into the abyss. You wade in inch by inch, feeling the cold water creep up your skin, acclimating to the chill, growing bolder with each step. Afraid of public speaking? Start by speaking to one person, then two, then a small group. Afraid of heights? Stand on a chair, then a low wall, then a balcony. Each small step is a victory, a chipping away at the monolithic wall of fear. I know a man who was terrified of flying. He started by watching videos of airplanes taking off and landing. Then he visited an airport just to observe. Then he booked a short domestic flight. Each step was agonizing, but with each conquered fear, his world expanded. Now he travels the globe, a fearless explorer of the skis. Start small. Be consistent. and never ever back down. Have you felt it? That tremor in your gut, that icy grip on your heart. That, my friend, is not your demise. That is your fuel. Fear is not the foe. It is the ferocious fire that forges the most magnificent steel. It's the volatile compound that, when harnessed, propels you beyond the stratosphere of mediocrity. It is the raw, untamed energy coursing through your veins, screaming to be unleashed. So I ask you again, are you ready? Are you truly ready to shatter the chains that bind you? Break free from your shackles. Cast off the tattered rags of doubt and don the armor of unyielding resolve. The time for cowering is over. The time for whispering apologies for your existence is gone. Ignite your rocket. Feel the earth tremble beneath you as the engines of your ambition roar to life. Blast through the atmosphere of self-doubt and into the boundless expanse of your true potential. Picture this. The man you are today, hunched over, eyes downcast, a mere shadow of what you could be. Now erase that image. Obliterate it. See yourself standing tall, shoulders back, a fire blazing in your eyes that could melt glaciers. See the respect, the admiration, the awe in the eyes of those who once dismissed you. Feel the surge of power as you command your own destiny, a true lion surveying his kingdom. You are no longer a prisoner of fear, but a master of your own domain, a force of nature unleashed upon the world. You have stared into the abyss, and the abyss blinked first. The world awaits your roar. Not a whimper, not a plea, but a thunderous, earth-shattering roar that declares your arrival, your dominance, your absolute refusal to be anything less than extraordinary. There is no tomorrow. There is no someday. Your journey from shackles to rockets starts now. This isn't a dress rehearsal. This is your one glorious, magnificent life. There is no try. There is only do. There is no fear. There is only power. Throw yourself into the fire of transformation, embrace the scorching heat of challenge, and emerge reborn, a phoenix from the ashes of your former self. Unleash the beast within and conquer all.